Australians coming back into the country will no longer need a physical passports soon. It'll just be a QR code that's also going to hold your vaccination status information. On the line, Michael Maher, the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of OnePassport. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How does your technology work, Michael?
So OnePassport is a digital credential. We work in industries like healthcare, aged care, mining, construction, where people need to carry qualifications, licenses, visas, police checks, background checks and vaccinations in order to access their job sites. Doctors walking into a hospital, aged care workers working between homes. So we have a vaccine passport in it, but it's not actually the reason for we built OnePassport 5 years ago.
So what sort of information can be stored on that particular passport, Michael?
So everything from qualifications to background checks, like police checks, experience, registrations and licenses, tickets, and your vaccinations. Because, for example, a doctor has typically about 5 vaccinations and 5 test results that they always have to carry with them: Hep A, Hep B, flu, tetanus, etc. And now COVID's been added to the list. So there are a lot of regulated industries that have got those requirements, but now it's coming to the rest of us in society of having to carry some of these things. So
they can be stored, for example, I've got an Apple iPhone with a digital wallet. Are we talking about something similar, or does this work a little differently?
It works a bit differently because it's an actual passport. It's an app where you can actually download and save things, because there are certain items that if you're an aged care worker, you might just have to have a verified police check, and you upload a copy of your Cert 3 in aged care, and you upload a copy of your visa, and you write in your experience, but the only verified item might be your police check. But if I'm a doctor, I need to have a verified degree, verified AHPRA membership, verified Medicare membership, verified everything. So having it as a proper app, depending on what I need to use it for, I can get some things independently verified by third parties, or I can just upload information by myself. I've got that flexibility. It's not just saving a copy of it on my phone like the Apple Wallet or Google Wallet.
Okay. We're being told you might not have to carry that physical passport anymore, but a QR code would replace it. The mind boggles at that. Michael, can you explain it to us in layman's terms, please?
Well, I think we're a long way off losing the actual passport.
Okay.
I think that's going to be some time to go. Your listeners don't need to worry about that. I think people still like to have that physical document. And there are still too many countries around the world where you can't rely on the technology, and they need to actually open up, look at your face, and run the code that's along the bottom of the photo page through their system. More and more countries are getting the technology, like in Australia, where you use the smart passport chip, but that's certainly not everywhere yet. We are getting vaccine passports, and that's going to change the game, but I don't think they're going to connect to your travel passport as much yet.
Here in WA and across Australia, we're supposed to sign in. Do you think that sort of option at the moment will be phased out, replaced by a QR code that also proves that I've had the COVID vaccine? So our everyday activities through life, if you're going to a pub or a cafe or similar?
I think it will. Right now, each state has got their own QR code-based check-in system for contact tracing if there is an outbreak at that location. But once we hit the 80% vaccination rate and we open borders, both domestic and internationally, as the politicians are talking about, it won't be so much about those outbreaks and therefore, a positive person came to the cafe, because there'll be lots of positive people. So we'll move away, as you say, from the contact tracing to being able to prove I need to show that I'm vaccinated. We changed then from a state-based system to the federally based Australian Immunisation Register, AIR.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The trouble with AIR is that a lot of people in society who don't come under Medicare, they're not in AIR.
Yeah. So
anyone like international students, visa holders, even tourists coming to Australia or Australians who have vaccinated whilst outside of Australia. Now, there's 40,000 Australians trying to get home right now. Chances are they're being vaccinated in the countries where they're currently residing. They can't easily share that information into AIR. So even when they come back here, they'll struggle to actually show the green path in Australia. So there's some of the challenges we've got to work out.
And we've seen other countries try to implement similar technology. Where do we look for successful examples that perhaps you're able to model something on that could be presented that we'd accept here in Australia?
There aren't any. To be blunt, everybody's playing catch up. And so recently, of course, AIR was embarrassed a bit when Senator Rex Patrick downloaded the green certificate and he forged and created a new one. But that same kind of thing is happening all around the world. We're part of something called the COVID Credentialing Initiative, CCI, under the Linux Foundation. So we get to see what's happening from academia, commercial, even government stuff around the world, and that's happening everywhere. Even the Excelsior Pass in New York and many other countries. We're right in the thick of it. We're working with they know that they need to improve their security. We had told our developers that we would be probably doing every 3 months we'd have a whole new system from the government because they'd be increasing their security. When we spoke to Air, they said, no, Michael, we're doing it in every 6 weeks. So they're well aware of the challenges, especially around the security and the interoperability, the shareability, and they're working very quickly on it.
Yeah, it's interesting, Michael, and we're only scratching the surface. Thank you so much for your explanation this afternoon.
Pleasure.
That's the OnePassport co-founder and CEO, Michael Maher.